Riot spent this season quietly rebuilding where your rank sits on the ladder, and then buried the most interesting sentence they've written about ranked in about 5 years in the middle of a dev post. Here it is, one sentence, sat in the middle of a Riot dev post. There may be a need for an entirely new rank below Iron in the future. That's Riot Phroxzon on Riot's own site in a post called /dev MMR-to-Rank distribution dated the 2nd of March. Now I want to be careful with that quote for the whole video because it is not a Riot announcement. Riot did not say a new rank is coming. The words are maybe a need and in the future, which in Riot years covers everything from next patch to the heat death of the sun. But somebody at Riot looked at the bottom of the ladder after they'd already fixed it once this year and wrote down that it still isn't low enough. And to understand why that's funny, you need to know what Iron actually was. Riot published the Iron number, and it's a lot bigger than you'd guess. Historically, we've had an outsized population of players in Iron, and the figure they put next to it is around 14% of players globally. 14% in Iron, that's my arithmetic on their number, and it works out at roughly 1 player in 7 sitting in the rank that's supposed to be the tutorial. But that 14% isn't the interesting part. The line Riot put next to it is, Riot described that population as mostly consisting of players who've been here or bouncing back and forth between bronze for years. That is Riot describing the bottom of their own ladder. The lowest rank in League was not full of new players. It was full of League veterans, people who'd been sat in Iron for years. Iron wasn't the shallow end of the pool. It was a retirement home with a Teemo problem. So Riot's own diagnosis is that Iron had stopped doing its job. It was meant to be where you learn to lane, and instead it was where you go to stay. Here's what Riot did about it, and it's the part I actually want you to take away. So we chose to adjust the MMR to rank correlation to get the more experienced players out of Iron and into bronze. So they adjusted the MMR correlation, not the players, not the skill, the mapping. Because there are 2 numbers on your League account. There's MMR, which is the hidden one the matchmaker actually uses. And there's your rank, which is the badge it shows you. And that rank badge is just a lookup. It's MMR going in one side of a table and a word like silver coming out of the other. So Riot changed the table. Which means it's possible to have played exactly the same, at exactly the same MMR, and end up wearing a different rank, because the thing that translates one into the other moved underneath you. Your rank isn't a measurement, it's a translation of your MMR, and the translator got a new dictionary this season. I'm not going to tell you how many people moved, because Riot didn't publish that, and everyone who quoted a figure for it made it up. Now the half that got all the coverage, because it involved shiny master badges. Riot ran the exact same operation up at Diamond. Their words, we decided to reassign the MMR to rank distribution to put players at the higher end of Diamond into Master. Same tool, same table, opposite direction. And Riot's reasoning is the sentence I want to sit on because nobody I read actually did the maths on it. The difference between a Diamond 4 and Diamond 1 player was roughly the same as a player in Bronze 4 and High Silver. Okay, this next bit is mine, not Riot's, and I'm labeling it before I say it. Riot are comparing one gap to another gap. Let's count the rungs in each gap. Diamond 4 to Diamond 3 to Diamond 2 to Diamond 1. That's 3 steps, top to bottom of Diamond. Now the Bronze 1. Bronze 4, Bronze 3, Bronze 2, Bronze 1, Silver 4, Silver 3, Silver 2. Riot say, High Silver, and never define it, so call it Silver 3 or Silver 2. Either way, you're looking at 5 steps down there in Bronze, or 6. 3 divisions at Diamond, 5 or 6 down at Bronze and Silver, and Riot are telling you those 2 spans held about the same amount of actual skill difference. That's not a complaint about Diamond players. It's a statement about Bronze, Silver, and Iron. If it takes 6 rungs down there to cover the same distance, 3 rungs cover up top, then those bottom rungs are shorter. The ladder is squashed exactly where most of the ranked population is standing. Which is precisely why a designer would then go and write the sentence about needing a rank below Iron. If the divisions at the bottom are that tight, adding another tier underneath them isn't Riot being cruel. It's Riot trying to give the bottom of the ladder some room to breathe. The Diamond change came with a bill, and to Riot's credit, they printed the bill in the same post. As a result of the widening of the MMR range for Master, though, it has made the LP requirements for Grandmaster and Challenger higher, even though there's the same number of players there. As a matter Same number of challengers, higher LP requirement to sit in Challenger. Master got fatter, so the doors into Grandmaster got heavier. And inside Master itself, there's now more of a difference between a 0 LP Master player and a 900 LP Master player, which is a polite way of saying the Master badge now covers a range wide enough to have its own weather. There's one more line, and I'm going to staple its context to it, because this Riot number gets ripped out and misused constantly. Riot say they're working on a plan to resolve LP gains in Master Plus games, and that we've seen a lot of instances of plus and 10, 30 LP for players at this tier. At this tier, that means Master and above. If you're in gold and somebody shows you that quote as proof the system is punishing you, they haven't read the paragraph it lives in. And while the whole internet was arguing about Master, Riot shipped something for everybody else that I barely saw covered at all. Different post, different authors, Christina Zhao and Matthew Leung-Harrison in /dev, rank 2026. Autofill got rebuilt. Our new approach to autofill will first attempt to match an autofilled player against another autofilled player in the same position, like jungler versus jungler, autofilled jungler versus autofilled jungler. Two people equally lost in the same role, canceling each other out. And if that isn't possible, it will aim to have the same number of autofilled players on each team. Then the one with the fantasy novel name, Aegis of Valor. Aegis of Valor will reward you with either double LP or full protection from LP loss on an autofilled game if you get a mastery score of C or higher. Double LP or no LP lost at all for a C, not an S, a C. That's the grade you get for turning up to your autofilled game and vaguely participating, and Riot will hand you a free win's worth of LP for it. There's a punishment stapled to it too, because there always is. Dodging will no longer reset your autofill status, so the old routine where you dodge out of the support slot and re-queue praying for mid is dead. Now the fair half, because Riot earned it. This is good rank design. Sorting the ladder by demonstrated skill, instead of leaving veterans parked in the tutorial rank, is correct, and a rank below Iron would be correct too. And Riot wrote it down. They published the before number, they published the reasoning, they published the side effect on Challenger LP, and they published the bit where it might not have worked. It still may not be enough to really distinguish between these skill levels. That's Riot marking their own homework in public and handing themselves a B-. I'll take that over a silent patch note every single time. So here's the honest version. Riot moved the mapping at both ends of the ranked ladder this year. They lifted the veterans out of Iron, they pushed the top of Diamond into Master, and the price was a heavier door at Grandmaster and Challenger. And then their own designer wrote that the bottom still isn't sorted, and that there may be a need for an entirely new rank below Iron. Not confirmed, not dated, not a patch note, just a sentence sitting there in a post that got a fraction of the attention the Master change did. If your rank shifted this season and your gameplay didn't, that's the table moving, not you. So tell me in the comments, if Riot did add a rank below Iron, what would you call it? And be honest about whether you'd be in it.